Hi everybody and welcome to Hot Topics Wednesdays. Today we're going to talk about how to write effective discussion questions for online interaction. All of us know that interaction online is crucial and that we really want to engage our students in the dialogue with us and teachers and trainers and with other students. However, how do you write questions that really provoke such discussion? So I hope that this mini presentation that I created for you will help you write very effective discussion questions and also will help save your time. Enjoy! So how to create discussion that promote interaction and not burn out in the process. Research shows that our students are trying to contact us 24 hours, 7 days a week, every 14 hours online. So how do we do this? Well, we're going to be talking about CREST Plus model proposed by Dr. Akin and Dr. Niels. And this models, so CREST is an abbreviation. C stands for cognitive nature, R stands for reading basis, experiential possibility, style, and type. And plus stands for good structure of the question. So we're going to discuss each of this element in detail now. So cognitive nature. When we talk about cognitive nature, we need to take into account andragogy, constructivism, Bloom's taxonomy, learning styles, and community. So andragogy takes into account how adults learn. And adults want to know why they're learning something. They want to be responsible for their own decisions and have self-direction. And they also want to bring something to the course, like their life experiences. And they also want to use problem-based approach where they can learn something that can help them in their. According to constructivism, learners are building their own knowledge. They're constructing the meaning in the content. And learner moves from access to online socialization and information exchange to knowledge construction. And so as the student moves up the levels, the amount of interactivity should be increasing. According to Bloom's taxonomy, there are 6 hierarchical levels: knowledge, comprehension, application, analysis, synthesis, and evaluation. So when we design our questions, we need to really think of all of these 6 levels and build up to a more complex, higher order questions, because they can not only just make our students think, but they will also lead students to more understanding and less just repetition of information. Learning styles. Well, learning is very individualistic. Some students learn by doing, some by seeing, by reading, or by listening. And the effective discussion questions would represent all of these different types of learning patterns. So as much as you can, try to cover all learning styles in your discussion questions. Community building. An online course that develops a sense of community, which is based on respect and engagement, it can be really welcoming to students and will really make sure that will let students participate more. So try to set up your discussion forum that are designed to increase community. For example, you can ask students to share something they already know about the subject. They can also, post their personal experiences, and then an instructor can find patterns in the answers and provide like a table or something of that sort, and then ask the students to discuss the implications of their own responses. And then tie all of this to the content of the course. Step 2, reading base. So after the instructor determined the theoretical purpose of the discussion question, so which we did in step 1, we move on to reading base. And of course, the most convenient type of, well, there are different types of reading based questions. Textbook based is when you know, create discussion questions based on the assigned reading in the textbook. So everybody has the book and it's the most convenient form of discussion. Literature-based is when you ask students to actually find existing and discipline-specific literature to prove or disapprove, agree or disagree, or maybe even expand upon the concept that you are studying. So this could be very interesting for students because it can promote more dialogue, and the students can really show their qualification and try to justify their positions. And there are also non-literature based questions that are designed to present a concept or a theory without relying on text or reading. Here we use, for example, the Socratic method, a dialectic method of inquiry where speakers, they reason together. And the instructor can, for example, create an online survey and direct the students to take this survey. So that's also an example of non-literature based questions. Experiential element. Well, any student brings their personal experiences into the course, and so effective teachers should really use this information, and they can create authentic activities such as collaborative activities or complex real-world tasks, you can also use peer-generated questions, which will save your time and also allow students to bring their own experience into the course. And so these questions need to be designed around a concept or a theory that you are teaching, but aimed directly at the personal story of the student. So then it will be a very good question. Step 4, style of questions. So there are different style of questions that you can use. You can use pairs. By pairing, we mean like dividing students into pairs and have them discuss the forum topic between themselves, and then they can pose their answers as a pair, which will actually save you time and will save your number of posts probably cut in by half, and it will increase more sociability and community aspect of an online course. You also can use pair swapping, where after the pair has posted their response, you take one member and move him to another pair. And you can do this as many times as you want, and you can actually do it so eventually every member of the learning community works with another member of this community. And so that can be very useful too. And you can also use pair evaluation, is where you let the pair reflect on what they learned in trying to respond to their original questions. Grouping is another useful method. You can group pairs like into different sides of debates with different assigned roles. You can also make them discuss what each pair learned and then share the results. So there are different types of grouping techniques that you can use. And you can also assign student roles, which is really good because, you know, it gives a lot of power to students, and some students can be note takers, some can be discussion leaders, etc. So it really very student driven discussion when you assign roles. Also, post building. Throughout a single learning unit, discussion questions can be built on questions used earlier in the unit. And post building it can encourage students to develop their thoughts about a topic if the questions are designed to build on the previous questions and require students to use different types of higher order thinking skills. And important aspect here is affective style. Affect can be communicated, of course, in face-to-face environment easily through nonverbal, clues, but in online communication, you can use such techniques as emoticons, maybe humor, self-disclosure, etc. And definitely try to show students positive and caring attitude. Type. So there are different types of questions. First type is metacognitive questions, and there are 4 subtypes here. Comprehension of the problem, making connection between former and current problems, using strategies to solve the current problem, and reflecting on the process. Follow-up questions, they ensure a depth of understanding or some sort of synthesis and evaluation of the topic discussed. Student-centered questions, they suggest assigning students the task of writing discussion questions so they can lead discussion, and it enables students to take control of their own learning. So remember, online teaching, online environment is not only student-centered but student-driven, and here is your opportunity to help your students drive the discussion. Evaluation and reflection questions. These are like 1-minute assessments. They allow students to reflect on the course so far, on the current lesson, or any other segment of the course. And, the students are encouraged to share their concerns here, their opinions, and you actually collect data from them and learn more about your learners so you can develop better questions later on. You can also ask other type of questions. For example, you can use questions that ask for more evidence, questions that ask for more clarification, open questions, linking or extension questions, hypothetical questions, cause and effect, summary and synthesis. So once good questions are put into your learning unit, you need to provide a working good structure for your students so the students know how to operate here. So you can use iteration. Sometimes a question may be misunderstood by the students, and discussion may not be developing naturally as much as you would like to. So the instructor should look at the cognitive purpose of the question and maybe restructure it. And perhaps the initial question it was based on a difficult textbook reading or something like that, or expected too much from the students. So if you use it to like an experiential question, that will allow students to build and develop the necessary foundation and then come back and have a renewed sense of purpose for the initial inquiry. Instructions is very important. So you need to provide very detailed guidelines, and we already talked about this in my blog, A Winning Structure of a Collaborative Activity, that you really need to tell them exactly what you want from your students to do. What you want your students to do. If you want them to post 2 comments, wonderful, then state that and also give examples and model what you would like for them to do. You need to, of course, provide dates and deadlines and clear directions for them to be able to navigate your learning management system to post these discussions. And this is it. This is a CREST structure for you. You can download the cheat sheet for yourself and also examples of the types of questions that we just discussed, and try to look at this cheat sheet often and create a variety of discussion questions online. I hope you enjoyed this presentation and that it will help make your life easier and your online classroom more interactive. So what I would like for you to do now is in the comments below, Please share your strategy for creating interaction online and interactive discussions online. And also, once you implement the strategies that I described in this post, come back to the blog and share your experience. As always, if you like this presentation, please click like and share this post with anybody you would like. And also, if you're not on my list, come on over. You can find me on www.effectiveonlineteaching.com. Also, if you know of anybody who can benefit from my book, it's an e-guide on how to find a job teaching online. Please recommend my site to them. And I wish you a wonderful day and conquer that distance.